Invasion at U.S. border is engineered by United Nations. Top Panama official warns. I've been saying this. It's by the globalists in general. In part, yeah, the United Nations is part of it. We have the Bilderberger Group. We have the World Economic Forum. We have all these groups, all these globalist entities are wanting our borders wide open. That's how they can sow chaos and let criminals into this country to turn us into a third world country. And many of our cities are already starting to look like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Slay News. This from Frank Berman. He reports that a top official in Panama's government has warned the American people that the invasion of military-age foreign nationals at the U.S. southern border has been engineered by the United Nations. Oriel Ortega, who currently serves as a secretary and defense consultant to Panamanian President Laurento Cortizo, is the former director of Panama's Border Patrol. In a bombshell news interview, Ortega has blown the whistle to allege that the border crisis is part of the UN strategy engineered plans to promote global mass migration, open borders, and globalism. And this is what I've been saying for years. I try to warn people that this is what they were planning. I mean, George Soros' own foundation tells you exactly what they're doing. The Open Border Society. I mean, it gets no obvious than that. But Ortega explains the agenda during a February 22nd interview with the Epic Times. While serving with his nation's border patrol, Ortega said that he saw a jump in migration in 2016 at the same time that more non-governmental organizations or NGOs moved into Panama. That increase corresponded with the UN's Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration meeting in 2016. What does that even mean? But 2 years later, 152 nations, including Panama, voted in favor of the compact to manage global migration. The United States voted against it. But under the UN, the migration process has been anything but orderly, Ortega said. It's completely opposite right now, he said through an interpreter. Documents show that in 2023, a record 500,000 migrants traveled through the dense jungle known as the Darien Gap from Colombia into Panama, and a lot of them are Chinese. Migrants from around the world are flying into South and Central America to start their journey because countries such as Suriname and Ecuador don't require a visa to enter. Their final destination is the United States, of course. In the book, Weapons of Mass Migration, Forced Displacement, Coercion, and Foreign Policy, written by Kelly Greenhill, suggests that weaker countries are using migration to destabilize their more powerful adversaries. And that's what I've been saying. Again, further proving my points, what I've been saying for years. That's exactly what it is. It's to destabilize our country, is to turn us into a third world country. And Joseph Humeyer is the executive director of the Center for a Secure Free Society and an expert on unconventional warfare. He told the Epic Times that he believes that what Americans are seeing at the U.S. southern border now, quote, this isn't a conspiracy theory, he said. The invasion at the U.S. southern border is strategic engineered migration. Ortega agreed that the NGO have exacerbated mass migration problems. Instead of helping, they're being part of the problem, he said. Quote, it's not the migrants themselves that are creating a national threat. It is the organized crime, and it is these international organizations. At the Lojas Blancas camp in Panama, migrants have access to a number of large maps provided by NGOs that display detailed migration routes heading to the United States. Excuse me. They are literally giving them maps to get here. These so-called NGOs. Well, one map is from HIAS, an NGO founded as the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, which recently received $11 million from the United States and 2 grants awarded to Latin American migrants. The HIAS map shows that migration route from Colombia to Costa Rica, including detailed bus stops, temperatures, altitudes, and migration kiosk locations. Now, so it's Hebrew immigrant. So is they from Israel, the same people that are asking for aid packages and getting billions upon billions of dollars from us as well? But the Epic Times visited all 4 migrant camps in the southern Darien Gap this week, speaking with migrants from China, Somalia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, and others who hiked out of the treacherous jungle leading from Colombia into Panama. And this is from Laura Loomer, doing great work. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I'm not gonna play the entire thing because it's 9 minutes long. I'm just gonna play a few minutes of this.
You have the light?
Got it.
Oh, es un bus de migrantes.
Lleva migración, gente de migración.
¿Sí?
Debe ser como una toma, yo creo.
Oh.
Sí hay, pero son los que vienen.
So late night in Darien Gap, Panama, I spotted the migrant bus transporting a bus full of invaders from Africa. The bus stopped in front of the San Vincent migrant camp in Darien Gap to drop someone off. While the door was open, I hopped on the bus and started. I guess I'm not going to click on the rest of that. I give it to her. She's bold. She's bold for doing this.
¿Quién manda a subir? ¿Quién lo manda?
Oh, no, estamos turistas y queremos ver los migrantes. ¿Está bien?
Look at that. People from all over the world being filtered in
So, van a Costa Rica?
through our countries, gaps.
It's on the side.
Green bus.
Crazy.
A second.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
These NGOs are funding this.
Van a Costa Rica
George
ahora.
Soros
Sí, ellos-
Open Border Society
Voy a
is
hacer la
funding this
consulta,
stuff.
porque tengo que hacer la consulta.
Okay.
Es que ellos son como turistas que quieren hacer una página para videos y cosas. No sé si eso es permitido o no.
Just crazy. It's just crazy that this is happening. I can't believe that I'm witnessing this. But the article goes on to say, many suffer from infections and injuries such as trench foot and broken limbs. Several complained that the water was untreated at the camps and that they lack basic items such as diapers. Migrants also told the Epic Times that the NGO staff, several of which are funded by U.S. taxpayer money, only visited the camps for several hours each day. Quote, I do not know where the funds are going, Ortega said of the NGOs when told about complaints from migrants. The funds are supposed to be there to help the migrants. The only NGO workers spotted during the weekend of February 17th through 18th were the Red Cross, which was building a temporary structure for their workers, and Doctors Without Borders, whose medics were speaking with migrants. The NGOs should be educating and helping migrants in their own countries, not Panama, Ortega said. Instead of curtailing mass migration, they are facilitating it, he said. While the UN has aided migrants for decades, the scope of its operation has dramatically expanded. As a result, the number of illegal immigrants entering the United States have been surging. Nearly $1.3 billion of U.S. taxpayer money was given to the unelected UN and other agencies assisting migrants in 2023, according to a government spending database. Do you think they're really getting any of that? Ortega noted that the UN's mass migration agenda has already caused problems in many countries, including the United States. Quote, as we have seen in New York, bad people are arriving in New York, he said, and they are causing a lot of damage and a lot of disturbances to the government of the United States of America. I mean, he's realizing that he's not even an American citizen. Ortega, he's from Panama, and he's realizing how these people are coming into our country and they're destroying our country, our country and our way of living and taking our money. How come you think how come our government officials don't know this? How come Biden doesn't know this? How come he is still continuing to allow the influx of illegal immigrants to come into this country and them to drain our resources? It's because it's by design. That's why. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest news. Until next time. Peace.